Shalom, shalom, shalom. It's part two of Memory Lane. As I was saying, a lot of the old keyboards I was reminiscing on them back in the day, how years ago, me and a few musician friends of mine, we would really be like, man, I gotta get the new board when it comes out, whether it was Yamaha, Triton, or Roland, or um, some of the fancy names of old, the DX7s. And actually, now I would like to get my hands on a Fender Rhodes piano, electric piano. It's kind of, it's my favorite instrument. I was a drummer for a long time. Love Premier sets. I love the Tama and the Pearl, especially. Yeah, I could go on and on and on. The Zildjian cymbals and Sabian cymbals and things like that. But yeah, and I was reminiscing on how years ago a lot of the old stores in Philly that we went to get these instruments, the 8th Street Musics, the Zaffs, the different places. But now everybody goes to Sam Ash and Guitar Center. But we would often hit even the pawn shops for some good. And some of them you can, and of course you can get your instruments online used and stuff like that now. So and or brand new from places like Musician's Friend, different places. And the software is amazing. If you have a Mac computer, and all of the different softwares, and like I said, to do film scores, when you hear those sounds when you're watching a movie, and it's like wow, as I was saying years ago, the old movies was an actual orchestra, and that's why they sound so much more dramatic. The acting was dramatic and things like that in a lot of the old black and white movies from the yesteryear. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to just take this little time out and go down memory lane. As I said years ago, before the turntables, two turntables, and a mic, which we loved the hip hop era when it first came out in Philly. We were hearing things in the late '70s, mid late '70s. But people, I was saying, families actually came out on block parties with instruments. Families, the whole family played. Like the Jacksons or the Partridge Family or the Silvers, Sly and the Family Stone. A lot of the families, that's what they did. Years ago, you'd be walking down the street and you would see notes on people's doors, piano lessons, things like that. You don't see that much anymore. So now you just, a lot of the young cats, they're awesome on keys and stuff, especially in the church. And, I just be in awe, a lot of them, hearing their chops. And then a lot of the guys in the street, you just hear them, I make beats. And the stuff they do is kind of phenomenal too, with all of the software. One of the things I didn't mention in part one is one in the earlier years I had got it. I had a lot of drum machines, had a lot of drum sets, and always had keyboards on the side because I was a drummer first. And as I said, in later years, even though I played keys a little on the side with production, I started getting in a little more in the keys because again, be playing drums forever, I'm getting old. But no, still I can still get it in when needed. But maybe a video down the line, go down memory lane on a kit. But yeah, one of my earlier production pieces was an SB12, which those that know the earlier years of hip hop music, that was like the sampler to have with the 808 beat and things like that. Nowadays, I hear the 808. It's just boom, boom, boom on every note. It's not syncopated. It's boom, boom, boom. But each era of music changed, so I ain't hating it all. In later years, I got the MPC 2000. I was blessed to get that and had that for years, and that's an awesome sequencer for all kinds of production of all kinds of music. Like I said, now Mac computer and the softwares that's out now, ridiculous. You can have a drummer sound like a session drummer, and it's actually the software. Or you can have a drummer that's well known worldwide endorse a software and his actual chops and what he does, even a bassist. So it's just phenomenal. So a lot of the music today you hear that, but it's nothing like sometimes hearing the good old R&B from the 70s, the good old gospel from the 60s and 70s, because you know why? In the studio, you have musicians. They're in there jamming. Like the Funk Brothers in the Motown years playing in the basement on the clay floor. You had that. So the modern stuff is awesome too, one man, all the sounds, somebody in the booth, one singer singing all of his or her own background, or using some a vocal software that makes it sound like a choir, or five people, or harmonizing, or three-part harmony. It's amazing. The technology is mind blowing. So I I just really get in awe about it. But like I said years ago, um, Patty, she lived on around the corner from me on Vernon Road. I was a little kid. They was like, yeah, Patty used to Slipell used to live in that house at Vernon Road in Woolston and stuff. And as I said, the drummer for Pieces of a Dream, he was a couple blocks over on Horder or Philolina Street. And just because that was the early 70s, people came out, on block parties and things like that with instruments before the DJ era, before I was a little kid with Soundstage, helping Easy Mike and Lightning Rich and those guys, and all of the battles back in the day, which was innocent then. It was innocent. You took it out on the microphone or whatever the guys did years ago. And a lot of times I used to play drums for the Scientist of Sound, Walt Reeder, in his basement playing drums while he was on the turntable. So, and I was a kid, but they loved my drumming years and years and years ago. Because as I said in the part one, I had drum. My mother would save up and get me drum sets for the holidays, for my birthday and stuff. I miss my mom. Oh my! But anyway, people would be outside on my patio just listening through the basement and things like that. But years later, I just stopped playing, went to the military, things like that, and got grown up and things like that. And so, and then after that, God called me to the ministry, and I started playing in the church. And it was just, it's just something. All the glory goes to the Most High. So be it. Amen. But again, just going down memory lane. As I said on part one of Memory Lane, I started pulling out some of the old keyboards, and that's what took me down memory lane. I started reminiscing with me and my buddies. We would be like, I hope I can get this. Trying to save up income taxes and everything else because the keyboards were expensive then, and some of the keyboards, most of them were used and they were expensive. Now they're like car notes. There's a lot of these keyboards are up there. I mean, it's pretty expensive, and even the organ, like the Hammond, if you wanted a original Hammond from B3 or something from the 50s, the 60s, or 70s, 80s, that's expensive. And like I said, a vintage Rhodes. They do have a place called Vintage Vibe in Jersey that actually redoes the mint condition a lot of the Rhodes keyboards. But that's like one of my favorite instruments, along with piano and things like that. And but like I said years ago, you could actually um, go to just these places and get these instruments from pawn places and things like that, and sometimes find them used. Now, yeah, you get them online, Craigslist or whatever, or musicians' friends, some of the online music stores. But it's not like years ago. The record stores, so those from Philly, Sound of Market, Sound of Germantown, out west Philly, you don't the record era is gone. For the most part. But these modern DJs using the new technology, man, they're spinning and doing things. So, it's really awesome. It's really awesome to look at technology fast forward. So just as phones come out, keyboards come out, computers come out. I mean, so it's something. A lot of them, for those that aren't keyboardists, they think, well, it's just a keyboard. They don't know that the polyphony, the sounds, the things in there, the way you USB things out of keyboards and work with the software, the computer is just phenomenal, and it's next level. And that's what makes it so. And it's a computer itself, a lot of them. So that's what makes the prices that they are. Like I said in part one, I love going to Sam Ash and Franklin Mills and my little buddies that work there and all that. And I run into a lot of musician friends there. I'll get to playing something, they be like, yo, you want to buy that? I'll be like, yo, that's really nice, but no, hey, this is nice because the prices are like really out there. But in time, the favor of God, But and then after that, another year or two or something else nice coming out. So I like to hold on to the old stuff, the old boards. They still have great sounds, great polyphony. You get yourself a nice amp, and you can still do some things. And but yeah, just going down memory lane here, and this is part two of it. And beside of the playing and the shedding and bringing the word, which is always going to be the word. Heaven and earth will pass pass away, but my word will be here forever. Let's just take some time out and go down memory lane for a little bit. Love you all. Thank you for your love and support. And shalom to you.